Okay, so in the final part of this little mini series, how to argue less with your partner, I want to have a think about kind of defining the reasons why you're in this relationship. So we've had a think about. We started off this week thinking about not using sweeping statements, not using things like always, you never, and be thinking more about demonstrating actually how you are feeling. So talk much more about how I feel. I feel like this when it makes me feel like this when listening, actively listening, and making time for make time for difficult conversations rather than leaving them to fester and then to take off and snowball out of control. And then we also had a think about your tone of voice and your timing. So hopefully that's all been quite helpful by itself. And then this is one that I just say to couples all the time, and I think it's a really easy thing for me to say, sat on my sofa, and aware that conflict is really difficult and that people argue for lots of different reasons. But just to remember that you're on the same team, and that as a couple, yeah, okay, things are going to get difficult, but if you are committed to each other, you're committed to each other. It shouldn't feel like you are against each other. There are going to be there are going to be times where you have a difference of opinion, and I understand that. But ultimately, you are on the same team, and whatever you are fighting for should be for the best outcome of you both. So when you're making the time to have these conversations, remember that, like put that at the very top of the conversation, that you're on the same team. Learning to compromise is difficult for some people. Learning to compromise, learning to back down, and not be so entrenched in the outcome can be really hard. But the whole part about being in a relationship, being part of a partnership, is that a lot of the time you have to make compromises. Compromises don't necessarily mean sacrifices. I'm not saying that you have to sacrifice stuff, but invariably, if you are having a heated conversation or a heated argument about something, especially if it's a recurring theme, you need to be able to find a way to resolve that. And you need to be able to find a way to compromise on that, because nobody should be stuck having the same arguments all the time. And there's usually always a solution. I don't think I've ever worked with anybody where there hasn't been a sensible solution once pride and ego is taken out of the mix, and you're able to find a way that works for you both, and a solution that works for you both is the ultimate teamwork. It's the ultimate partnership, where you don't feel, and sometimes you do have to just back away and just say, this is all yours. Like, you okay, fine, I back down, as long as it's not the same person backing down all the time. We don't want one person always being always having to step back and the other person always kind of like puffing their chest out, because that's not fair either. So compromising in your relationship and being on the same page is ultimately what a relationship is about. I hope that's what a relationship is about. And if you've got children, as most of my clients do, then that's what we need to be teaching them as well. We need to be teaching them that we fight fair, that we discuss things and we work it out and we come up with a solution that works for us both. And part of that is really good communication and being able to empathize with the other person and see the situation from the other person's point of view and come up with an outcome that you both feel is right under the circumstances. So that's it. That's it for this week. I hope you all have a lovely Easter weekend, and I will catch up with you guys next week. Take care.